Shut up and sit down.
Hey you Skellywags! Some sad news to start. Her Majesty the Queen sadly passed away after 70 years of reign. Very sad news indeed. I've suffered a few health issues of late, but finally had a chance to take the family on holiday together for the first time. You can take a glimpse in the last video. Now on to some toy news. We start off with some Hiya news. They'd previously announced the plan to release some G.I. Joe figures, and now we have our first glimpse with Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is a total mystery, but when it comes to G.I. Joe operations, he's the best there is. Snake Eyes is a natural fighter with abilities that border on the supernatural. His unique blend of skill, stealth, Arashikage ninja training, and strength of character makes him an unparalleled combination. Standing at 3.75 inches tall with 17 points of articulation and posability, hopefully he'll have a thigh twist. Grenades on his chest harness and his signature sword. There are also two holsters on legs, called pistol and tactical knife. The sculpting and paintwork here looks quite impressive. It'll also come with a pistol, Uzi with silencer, tactical knife, tactical bag, and two pairs of interchangeable hands. Due for release first quarter of 2023, retailing for $19.99. From the world of Judge Dredd, we have Mean Machine Angel. He's a head-butting psychopath with a huge robotic arm and a dial on his forehead that controls his temper, going from 1, surly, through 2, mean, and 3, vicious, before 4, brutal, and woe betide everyone if his dial gets stuck on 4. This version of Mean Machine is based on the artwork of Mick McMahon and Carl Critchlow. Comes with 16 points of articulation and is due for release in 2023. I hope that at some point they maybe make a version of the Sylvester Stallone Mean Machine. As a kid, I really loved that design. The movie, although not great, has a special place in my heart. We now move on to see what's going on with Toys Alliance. Next year we'll see new release from Acid Rain and Omanga. Gauntlet will be utilising the recent Abaddon Geist's Buck. During the unwelcome war between Gafia and Estancia Gen, Titus Vanovich of Omanga on the side of the Gafians led a division of troops through the Vlachia Grey Zone straight into the Estancian heartland, where he and his men unleashed a biochemical weapon, bringing a terrible grey storm down upon the country, hastening the already ongoing process of desertification and sealing the kingdom's doom. The man known as Gauntlet was a youth when he joined Titus's march. He was cunning and an intelligent fighter, but overconfident. No one knew where he came from, and he refused to show his face. Many suspected him of being an Estancian defector. During the fighting, he lost his arm, but when he returned to Omanga, he was strangely overjoyed to have a powerful mechanical gauntlet drafted to his body. Impressed by his resilience and guile, Titus recommended Gauntlet to have his own independent platoon. Now Gauntlet and his Blacksand Squad patrol over the Estancian Grey Zone, where they frequently skirmish with the Argurtan Hellbenders and Soiled Ghost Warriors. Besides the Geist Buck, Gauntlet seems to come with all new pieces including armor, helmet, his weapon loadout, pistols and his rifles, a backpack so he can store his pistols. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's any way you can store the rifles. And we can't forget the soft goods. Blacksand Squad set. Officially the 19th Abaddon Independent Desert Platoon, but more colloquially known as the Blacksand Squad. This elite unit of the Omangan Empire's fearsome Abaddon army are fiercely loyal to their bold leader, Gauntlet. The 19th was originally part of the vanguard of Titus's march of destruction to Estancia, and were left to patrol the desertified zone when the main host pulled out. They had middling success in intervening years until they received Gauntlet as their new captain. The cunning tactics of their red gauntleted leader inspired the 19th to new heights, such that now they are one of Amanga's premier elite desert forces, mobilized quickly and flexibly to deal with soil ghosts, Estancian restorationists, or Argurtan troops as necessary. This 2-pack set will be a great Omanga army builder, where you can change out the armor pieces, heads, etc. So yeah, one to definitely look out for. A vehicle to go with your new Omanga, the Cockatrice CM1s. The Cockatrice CM1s, developed from models of the Barghest CM1m, was built for a desert environment while retaining the incredible speed and transformative potential of the Barghest. Given that the Estancian desertified grey zone is hotly contested territory, with soil ghost tribes, bandits and mercenaries, Argurtan platoons, and even some Gaffian irregulars present, the Cockatrice has also been outfitted with a small missile launcher modified from the Chimera C4M. As such, the Cockatrice CM1s not only has the speed to find the enemy, but also the ability to carry out raids and surgical strikes against foes. So the base buck for the base bike, is basically the Barghest that we got from Acid Rain World, but with the added parts, of course, that you put onto the front, which is the Strength of Ved front part, and then there's a new part that goes over the top of this vehicle, and then obviously the new weapons parts as well. So all these expected at the end of March 2023. After the last 118 toy news, more information came out on the collaboration between M Like Black, Acid Rain World, and Annex 2179. There are two versions of the protagonist of this project, Eric K, who has a more modern look with his puffer jacket and trainers, looking like some sort of Daft Punk knockoff. Eric K is a bionic robot made by the Black Soul organization. He can utilize local electromagnetic storms to generate magnetic fields that allow him to bend reality to leap through dimensions, to carry out missions in other worlds. He likes to leave all kinds of graffiti paintings in the places he has visited. The Black Soul organization hopes to dig out more technologies that can stop environmental deterioration by sending androids to different times and spaces. Some of the new parts here I can see maybe being exclusive to this release only, as the puffer jacket and trainers wouldn't necessarily fit in the world of Acid Rain. I'm wondering if the trainers in particular would be limited in the sort of pivot motion. But yeah, time will tell. And we don't have to wait too long for these. They'll be out in October 2022. Joining Eric K as transportation is the WH40K MK4A. Eric K uses complex technologies collected from different dimensions to manufacture high-performance vehicles with their own artificial intelligence. These special constructs not only operate on clean energy, but also actually reduce environmental pollution through absorbing and converting harmful pollutants into naturally occurring compounds. The AI voice of this particular model was tuned by Eric K to produce the barking sound of his favourite WH40K dogs. He can even understand them. Looks like we get an early preview of the AMM motorcycle, as this seems to heavily lift from that design. This also comes with 2 pistols. This was a surprise announcement and definitely something I was not expecting from Kit Lau. But looks quite fun. Ignis Fatui, due for release end of February 2023. Yuto, Dido, and Altets are members of the UD6 Weapons and R&D division. They came from a distant galaxy and accidentally ended up on this planet. They are called the Ignis Fatui, which means energy mass with thoughts but without physical being. They have their own personalities like humans, are strangely passionate about weapon research and development, and always have unique ideas. Their tailor-made weapons for UD6 agents, such as Hero's PT Katana, are their masterpieces, and some of the most deadly weapons around. However, they often get into trouble when experimenting with new prototypes. It is not uncommon for them to become caught up in the excitement of a new creation that then explodes in their faces, leaving the UD6 to pick up the pieces. Now this is one I'm definitely excited about. I have pre-ordered already, each coming with their own soft goods and individual weapons. As always, there's no shortage of Joytoy updates. We start off though with a rumour. So I've got no idea if this is true or not. I've just been told that Joytoy are looking at 2 IPs that either they've acquired already or looking to acquire. One being Apex Legends, the game, and the other, Star Wars. So let's go under the assumption that these rumours are true. Apex Legends is an IP similar, I'd say, to something like Fortnite, but their character designs I think fit more with Joytoy's sensibilities and would fit right in with their kind of designs and what they release. And although I don't play the game, just like Jazzware's Fortnite line, I'd definitely be up for picking up a few 118 characters that are based on those designs. The Star Wars rumour, although very exciting, for me, just raises more questions. We have the Vintage Collection from Hasbro, which as of right now is improving seemingly with each new release. And unlike Hasbro with their G.I. Joe, they are quite active, which is why Hiya now doing G.I. Joe figures actually fits, because it seems like Hasbro have given up on that anyway. So if Joytoy were to do Star Wars figures, what would they release? Would they simply go over popular figures we've already seen? Or could this mean the end of the Vintage Collection? If we do hear more, I'll be sure to update you right here, 118 Toy News. Now let's get back to some upcoming releases. This is Jangu Tuxen Shen, I've probably butchered that name, from Joytoy's Dark Source line. This piece in particular has one of the best looking head sculpts from Joytoy so far. To my knowledge, this is the first time Joytoy have ventured into the more historical Chinese designs. But if these promo images are anything to go by, they're definitely heading in the right direction. Jianggu Yunyue Ki, I'm assuming, is a relation to Tuxen Shen, where Tuxen Shen looks like he lacks any kind of weaponry. Yunyue Ki comes with a sword and a whip. Looks like both figures will have really good articulation, and the paint apps and sculpting on both look brilliant. Well, that's just from the promo images here. Hopefully we'll get the same for the end product. Both expected to be released in November for about $30. So I thought Joytoy were done with the Fear Mecha series and assumed that Fear 5 was their last hurrah. Turns out I was wrong. This is the Fear 6 Heavy Assault Mecha. Based off the Fear 1, this Fear seems to have the Fear 2's sensibilities. Looking less thin and streamlined, and with more pouches like the Fear 2. The pilot figure seems to be a mix match of a few different figures from before, including the Fear 5 pilot helmet. Still has that same cockpit from the back, which I'm hoping they've improved, but at least it looks like the pilot should be able to fit in there. The articulation will obviously follow what the Fear exoskeleton was able to accomplish previously. This one will have no trouble holding his gun. This will be expected some point before the end of the year. Sorrow Expeditionary Forces, 9th Army of the White Iron Cavalry, Eliminator. We've not even got the first release from this faction, but in true Joytoy fashion, they've already announced an upcoming release from here. I do like how this weapon can attach to the back. I wonder if you're able to use different Joytoy heads on this power armor. Looks like the articulation will be good. You'll be able to achieve a number of dynamic poses. This is available now for pre-order at Flyema, Locker Toys, all the regular places you get Joytoy figures. The next release from the Cult of San Reja, we have Logan. Logan seems to have the same loadout as Neil, but with a spear and shield here at least. The helmet is different, and the jacket. The base buck remains the same. He has a sword there, a sword with Eiley. So it's really just the same stuff. The Hellwalker H2O is a very similar bike to what we've got before. Yeah, just different design really. Both of these are shipping now, I believe, or soon. Finally, we have the Joytoy Warhammer 40K update. The latest tease is from the Imperial Fists. Tall Garadon looks just like his miniature, but fully articulated, as you can see from this picture, with his right arm up. Looks like Joytoy have been able to sculpt the cape so it's not too much in the way, but I do hope that is a bit more malleable. He sports the most detailed fist yet, which is what you'd hope for. Primaris Captain is just a collar swap of the Ultramarines version we got, Sidonicus, but this version has got an unhelmeted head. I think I prefer this design with the Imperial Fists colours as opposed to the Ultramarines, so maybe one I'll actually pick up since I passed on Sidonicus. Watch out for the pre-orders at some point soon, probably available before the end of the year. There'll also be 2 heavy Intercessors, one with a helmet and this one with an unhelmeted head. Considering that this will probably be larger than the 2.0 body, he's got a pretty big head. But he does look pretty mean. This helmeted version doesn't look like it'll be able to house the head from the previous figure, but does look pretty good. The weapon attaches to the power pack at the back, but looks slightly small, especially compared to the previous figure and how large his rifle was. The Redemptor Dreadnought looks just the same as the Ultramarines version, just in yellow. There may be a few differences like with the weapon loadout, otherwise just a straight colour swap. Just like the Ultramarines version, this will have the same features and will be huge at 29.8 centimeters tall. Very, very big boy. This Blood Angels image was shared with primarily just red, but then was soon changed with this, where some skulls and black have been added to the right knee pad, and the figure on the right has a bit more black on the pauldrons. Each figure having their own unique details and weapons, and even nipples on their armor. In China, I believe some of them are being released with an extra head or helmet as gifts. The Dreadnought, however, does not have any nipples. Ultramarines Primaris Captain. So the main thing here that sticks out is the white helmet. It does look very bulky, utilizing the new 2.0 body, which I've yet to receive, but do have a few on the way. For your army builder, we have the Primaris Assault Veteran Intercessor. There are a few differences to the captain, most notably with the cape. The sword is different, and there's a few other differences to the pauldron and other design details. Camarus Invader ATV. This looks like a fun vehicle. If it's actually able to perform maneuvers like this by itself, then I might actually grab one myself. There is a YouTuber who actually did a scratch build of one of these himself, and it was very, very impressive. I'll try to remember to link the video below. Grey Knights, Brotherhood, Terminator Squad. So these are not available to pre-order everywhere just yet. They are in a few places, but it does make me think that maybe Joytoy are still working on things behind the scenes, which I really hope they are, and that they're improving on what we got with the Chaos Terminators. With the level of detail and paint for each of these figures, they're about $50 to $60, maybe more in some cases. But all are looking quite stunning so far. They are currently scheduled for release before the end of the year, but that may change, so watch this space. I know Ragnar Blackmane was originally intended for October release, but is actually shipping now. Space Wolves, Thunderwolf Cavalry, Frode, and Bjane. Both Space Marines will have the exact same design and loadout, the only difference being the head sculpt. And the Wolves will be exactly the same too, except the colour. The Wolves, of course, are quite large, 33 centimeters in length and 13.5 centimeters tall. Finally, we have the Orks and Squig Hog Knob on Smasher Squig. Most of the images of the Squig seems to have him held up with this unique stand. Doesn't look like you'll be able to get much dynamic posing from the Squig. Squig Hog Knob, however, looks like he'll have some decent articulation. Design looking quite good. I quite like this over the other Orks that were announced. So that's it for now. I've got a few videos I had in mind to do, but I've lost a load of footage, so I have to do them from scratch. And yeah, I've had some poor health. Luckily we were able to go on holiday, as I said previously, and now I'm back, so business as usual. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll skell you later.